Welcome to Bedcrime Stories Podcast. I'm your host, T. Happy Friday. Sending you positive vibes for a lovely weekend. Do me a favor, smash that like button and subscribe to my channel. And if you want to support the work I do as I'm not monetized, please consider a Patreon membership. Now let's get started. On the morning of Saturday, November 8th, 2025, the massive cruise liner Carnival Horizon pulled into Port Miami after a 6-day voyage from Miami, Florida to Mexico and back. When the cruise liner departed from Miami at the start of the trip, all the passengers were alive and well. But tragically, when the ship returned to Miami, one of the passengers, 18-year-old Anna Kepner of Titusville, Florida, who'd been traveling with her parents and siblings, was lifeless in a body bag. Because the ship was at sea when whatever happened to Anna, the FBI in Miami was alerted, and agents swarmed the ship in Miami when it pulled into dock. When a ship is at sea between ports, it is considered to be in international waters. That's why the FBI is in charge of the investigation and not local law enforcement. Mysteriously, Anna's family claims they don't know how she died. However, the Miami-Dade County Medical Examiner has confirmed that Anna died at 11:17 a.m. on Friday, November 7th. That's one full day before the cruise liner was back in Miami. Thus, Carnival had to keep Anna's body safe and cool until it was removed from the ship the next day. As creepy as that sounds, apparently some large cruise ships are actually equipped with morgues, where they can store deceased passengers or crew members. Sadly, death sometimes comes a-knockin' even when you least expect it. Now, from what I read, large vessels typically have enough capacity to store anywhere from 4 to 10 bodies. After learning this, you're probably never going to look at a cruise ship the same way again. Now, I used to be a flight attendant, and I will tell you, I think it's better to be on a cruise ship when somebody passes away than on a plane. There's no morgue on planes, and so they typically leave the person in their seat with a blanket over them. So if you're seated next to that unfortunate person, it is really kind of creepy. Flights out of Las Vegas are notorious for unexpected deaths. I think they call it like the cardiac express. People party so hard that their bodies are drained after all of that. And apparently that can trigger heart attacks and strokes. Back to Anna. So far, Anna's death is shrouded in mystery with so many unanswered questions. The authorities aren't disclosing very much information, and of course, social media is abuzz with unverified rumors. Anna, or Anna Banana as her family called her, was a high school senior at Temple Christian School in Titusville. She's been described by her family and many friends as joyful, bubbly, and a straight-A student. Set to graduate in May of 2026, Anna had already taken the test for military enlistment, and she planned to join the U.S. Navy. She also dreamed of later serving her community as a canine police officer. So this was a young woman with drive and plans to realize her goals. Anna's best friend, Genevicia Guerrero, described her as, quote, the definition of joyful, bubbly, and always looking out for others, end quote. The two girls met in 8th grade and quickly became inseparable. Guerrero said she was in absolute shock when she found out that Anna had died on the cruise ship. She told Fox 35 News, quote, I broke down. I looked through all of our pictures immediately. I missed her so much. I really cried, end quote. According to Anna's obituary, she loved animals, in particular dolphins and butterflies. Like a lot of us, she loved music except for heavy metal. She was a fan of the Georgia Bulldogs and dreamed of one day becoming a cheerleader for them. Like a lot of teenagers, Anna loved practicing different makeup looks, making TikTok videos in which she sang and danced, and she also loved spending time in water, swimming, scuba diving, boating, which makes her death on a cruise all the more upsetting. After the cruise, Anna's parents drove her white Kia to her high school and parked it there as a memorial. The car is now covered in bouquets of flowers and balloons, all for Anna. And there is a celebration of life planned for November 20th. Now, this was Anna's second cruise. She'd previously traveled, I believe, with her grandparents, and she had such a good time that she couldn't wait to do it all over again. So here's what we know so far about Anna's mysterious death. The Miami-Dade County Medical Examiner listed 11:17 a.m. on Friday, November 7th as the time when Anna passed away. But it's unclear if that time is when Anna actually took her last breath, or is that when her body was discovered. Because the ship was off the northwest coast of Cuba at the time and thus in international waters, the FBI Miami field office is now in charge of the investigation. Apparently, when a U.S.-based cruise ship is operating in international waters, if it experiences a death, especially under unclear circumstances, jurisdiction often shifts to federal authorities. Now, there's something called the Death on the High Seas Act, or DOSHA, I think. DOHSA, and it applies to victims who die in international waters. It severely limits compensation to their families. As a result of DOSA, the maximum compensation that the Kepner family will likely be entitled to is just funeral expenses. And again, Anna's cause and manner of death have not been released publicly, so there are no official details yet concerning whether she died as a result of foul play, an accident, a medical event, or something else. Anna's father, Christopher Kepner, has stated that he has no idea what happened and that the FBI hasn't shared anything with him yet. Kepner told the Daily Mail, quote, "The FBI hasn't shared anything with me yet. I would imagine they're going to be in contact with me about it, but I know as little as everybody else. I have no idea what is going on right now. We're just trying to sit still and wait for answers," end quote. Investigators in this type of case typically examine the passenger's cabin, who had access to it, whether the door showed forced entry. They look for surveillance coverage, cameras throughout the cruise ship if they're working. Apparently, a lot of times the cameras aren't working. They do interviews with the family, siblings, parents, friends. They look at crew logs, shipboard medical records, CCTV footage, movement of the decedent, in some cases custody of the body, time of death, and post-mortem findings. I'm pretty sure they're doing all of that. And as often happens in high-profile unexplained deaths, social media and rumors fill the gap left by the official silence. Among the claims, a widely circulated post that asserted Anna was found stabbed and wrapped in a sheet underneath a bed on the ship. Note that that claim is unverified. No credible mainstream outlet or law enforcement release has confirmed such a scenario. Reddit, Facebook, and other platforms are showing posts quoting unnamed crew who apparently saw it, or someone on Deck 8 that claims the death was the result of violence. Anna's own grandmother publicly posted that she believes Anna was unalived, but again, there's no official death certificate cause or homicide label yet made public. Now, Each year, an estimated 200 people die on cruise ships, with the vast majority of them caused by natural circumstances such as heart attacks, strokes. But of course, accidental falls overboard and other accidents do sometimes occur, but these incidents are infrequent. Sometimes people do get unalived on cruise ships. Sometimes people unalive themselves on cruise ships. Sadly, it happens. And while 200 deaths are way too many and sound like a lot, that number, 200, translates to a very low death rate when compared to the millions of people who take cruises every year. 30 million people took cruises in 2019 to give you a better idea of the numbers. One estimate put the rate of death at roughly 1 in 150,000 guests. So my message to you is don't freak out and cancel your cruise if you have a reservation. But there are some things about Anna's death and the circumstances before it that stand out. For example, her final Instagram post, which she made on October 30th. It was a bathroom mirror selfie with the caption, "You deserve to be happy, but if it ain't with me, then NVM." NVM stands for never mind. So, you deserve to be happy, but if it ain't with me, then never mind. Anna also posted a video discussing enduring heartbreak from a rough breakup, and a previous post hinted at never deserving what she had been through. Her posts alluded to a recent breakup shortly before her death. A video posted days before her death included the line, "I don't know why I've been through what I've been through, but I can promise you I never deserved it." That post seems to suggest that she did go through a rough breakup in the weeks before she died. So the question remains, how did Anna Kepner die? Did somebody harm her? Did she possibly harm herself? And how is the medical examiner so certain that she died at 11:17 a.m. on Friday, November 7th? Now, again, her grandmother made a public Facebook statement. It read, "My granddaughter was 18 years old, no drugs or alcohol involved. She was murdered," end quote. So you gotta wonder, did Anna come in the path of somebody with evil intent? What's scary is that on cruises, there are no law enforcement people. There's no official police on board. What they have are security officers, not quite the same thing as police officers. Anna Kepner lived 18 years, and others say those years were bright, vibrant, and full of promise. She was looking forward to her graduation in May of 2026, to serving in the U.S. Navy, to helping others as a canine handler, and then aboard a ship in the middle of the sea, her life ended. We now know her name, but we don't know the full story. The investigation is underway. The social media storm continues. The rumors are swirling, but until the facts are proven, we have to tread carefully and thoughtfully. Until the next time on Bed Crime Stories, love you guys. Sending prayers to Anna's family and her friends.